Hi guys, this is Akash again and welcome to Youth by Mind, Not by Age. And today we are going to discuss three main topics. So I'm going to give you a brief idea about what the job market is all about in Melbourne. So we are going to, and if you have any comment for her as well, just drop in comment, okay? So let's start. So today the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to explore four jobs and we are going to keep track of all jobs in the list, okay? So I'm going to write each and individual skill that are required in this job. So let me minimize it a little. Yeah, that's all good. So we are going to type first thing as a data scientist. This is getting annoying. So okay. So let's search data scientist, data science, and open. And because we are looking for an entry level role, so you can select it at 80,000. So they won't pay more than 80,000 if you are entry level. And we'll go for anytime listed, work types, and relevance. We'll search by date. We'll see what's the latest thing that has been advertised. Okay, so a data science recruitment consultant. So it looks like it's a high pay. It's not your job. So we'll only look at the job which has a title as data scientist. Okay, so let's just scroll through and see. So data scientist is a generic word, so people use it interchangeably with different skills as well. So junior technical analyst, it is still analyst and it is still a data scientist role, entry level data scientist role. So if you want to have a look into it, I'll see if there are any other courses that we can pull out in this one. All right, so because it's showing all the latest job by date, but I'm not seeing anything with data scientists. Okay. Okay, let's do another thing. Let's search statistics. Okay. So principal data scientist, data science consultant. Let's have a look into this course if you want. And we'll quickly take one more job. I'll prefer to take with a data scientist term, but if there is none, we cannot. Alright, so let's look environmental manager. Alright. Looks like there hasn't been many jobs advertised in this role. So I'll quickly select this one as well. Okay, graduate. Alright, so we've got our first proper data scientist job and the next data scientist job. So we'll delete this one and we'll just have a look into this one and we'll quickly search this same thing over there. Okay, I want to make this video as small as possible so that you're wasting your time. We'll quickly scan through the skills. So data scientist, consultant. So we'll have a look into the NAB. So NAB is a bank. Okay, so I haven't made any selections over there because usually the data scientist job, they are very high paid jobs. So as you can see that it's going over 89,000. So that might be one of the reasons we were not able to see in the previous search. So I just saw something. Let's have a look into this one as well. Okay. All right. So NAB, IBM, and Modus, and okay, we've opened two Modus, but it's a different role, data scientist and ML. It looks like it's so this role is based on Perth, and this role is based on Sydney. So it's a two different role. And can you see the packages? How much they are offering to a data scientist? So all right, let's start. So little bit background about the company is really must. So you need to know what type of company is it. So when you're looking for a role, so let's just type Modis there. So we'll say company name, okay, and type of company. So what's its major areas, or maybe let's say areas, role, skills, So we'll have a look into these things that is required from all the companies. And I'll quickly minimize this. Yeah, all right. So the modis is continuously growing pipeline of work, uh, and for managing the transformational project, we are looking for data scientists with proven track record or solving large complex data analysis and machine learning problem in real world product development setting, and to provide to support and drive our expanding businesses. The primary focus will be applying data scientist techniques, creating statistical analysis, building and testing machine learning algorithm to support the strategy needs of the business. So these so whenever a job is advertised, like, try to look into the second paragraph immediately, because this is the main thing that they want from you, and duties that you will have to do, okay, with skills that are required in this field. Clearly, like you can see, and I just want to have a read through with this thing, and like with all the companies, I do like to read what their main background is, so that I can understand what type of job role can it be. So is a national professional service company with global capability. Our committed and talented professionals have delivered world-class IT and business consulting services. So it looks like it's a IT and business consulting services. As a member of global group, I think cool, world-class. All right, so it basically this is the company background. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick copy paste there. What type of a company is there? So it's gonna be the same thing, and the skills. So previous experience working with data science capacity for a corporate organization. So you can show this work using GitHub profile. So if you have worked on some of the projects and worked with a large number of data sets, you can show it with the GitHub. This is for the entry level that I'm talking about. So degree in analytical field. So this this is like all the companies, they don't really look into degrees even though they ask for a degree. So all they want is that you have a good report writing skills, because in all the degrees you need to make sure that you have a good report writing skills with sections where statistics or mathematical formulas or engineering concepts are implemented. So this is for the report writing skills. Experience in successful development and deployment of predictive models, which is it can be statistical model or machine learning model. Experience with Azure Data Factory, Databricks, Sparks. These are used to handle big data, but I'm not familiar with these words, but I'm pretty sure that it is to do with the big data. So which means that the company do have in solving large and complex data. Like this is where it highlights that they will be using this part of software. So if you can show them some experience with handling large number of data, and how you clean the data, how you visualize the data, and how did you find out the way output of the data, that's a really handy work to show to your employer in this case. Experience with computer programming, R and Python and SQL. These all three are database related work. So like this is R and Python. You can use statistical formulas to identify what type of data is to visualize the data, to clean the data, and SQL query, you can do extraction of the data as well from the SQL. So ability to deliver business insights. So you need to have a good portfolio in your GitHub. Experience of mining, petroleum, and gas sector is desirable. Flexible to work in a diverse team in a dynamic environment. So data scientist is all about a teamwork, because you need to work with you need to collaborate with different stakeholders. And so, all right, so let's quickly write down. I'm gonna in the next just gonna write it in the same page so that we can track down what we have inside it. So the first job modus, the job profile was data scientist in itself, scientist, and the roles that they are of. So GitHub, we'll write GitHub. Degree for report writing, we'll write report writing. And will write experience in development and deployment of predictive models. So statistics, and machine learning is must, is also required, and big data. So this is not preferred. So because because if as a data scientist they don't expect you to be good in big data, but if they are saying a word data scientist, so they don't expect you to be expert with big data. So all is like in future you may have to handle big data as well, so you need to show good experience with that if you have any experience. But if you don't have it, then this is not a preferred requirement. And so visualization tool, so visualization, are we using R, Python, SQL? You can use Excel, you can use Tableau, you can use anything. And experienced with ability to deliver business insights. So experience with multiple projects. Okay, so projects. So this is a brief summary what a company might be looking for in so might be looking for a role as a data scientist. So if you'll have a look into the company over here, so yes, so this company will definitely pay you over 100Ks easy, and so this is not an entry-level data scientist role. But when you are applying for a data scientist role, you not only have to be confident with this thing, but you need to make sure that you show all these skills with confidence. So confidence is key. So when you're showing them GitHub profile and then you're showing your commercial experience through a GitHub, you can use Kaggle. It's a good website where you can do a project for it's open project to anyone, and you can do those projects to improve your skills. But this is one of the job profile that we just looked. So let's have a look into the another job profile that we are showing. So the next one is data scientist and ML engineer. Similar role, but since they can also accept you as an ML engineer. So even if you're not familiar with with some of the data scientist tools, and you can apply for ML engineer role. And can you see a salary over there? 160 to 180. It's similar company. So role was there as data scientist. Skills was just data scientist. The second was it's the same company, so role was TS ML, and skills we'll have a look into how it differentiates. So first thing is the senior data scientist. So with all the recent videos that you're seeing in the YouTube of other YouTube content creator, you'll be seeing them using machine learning terms very often. So according to me, that's a really intermediate to advanced level of machine learning and like of data scientist. So as a beginner data scientist, I won't recommend you to go into a machine learning section, because just have a look into the job market first, and there can be a chance that you may not have to do machine learning at first. So if you just want to get a job within 3 months or 6 months, look at the skills that are required, which is not essential, and then have like if you have time, then you can, like, it's always an advantage if you learn more things, but you can plan your things then. So as you can see, machine learning is used at the same time with senior data scientist. So manage a team of 5. So you'll be already a senior, so you'll be managing machine learning engineers as well as scientists. Provide leadership, so enhancement, customization. So you need to be a good data scientist, but you need to have a good commercial experience, because you will have to live with the data scientist who has a commercial experience, and ML engineers, they're all working in a team. So we'll skip this job because it is an advanced job, and it is not, I will not recommend you to apply for this job, even though it is a very high paid job. Let's have a look into the other job that we can see. So it's a data scientist NAB. So this is one of the entry-level job that I think so that they'll be offering, because I know NAB personally. They are the one of the best Australian bank who offers jobs to young candidates. So they do hire candidates with minimum experience. So if you are applying for an app, so you can definitely go ahead with that, because they are very reliable for youngsters. They rely on youngsters. They teach. They have a different style of hiring. So opportunity as a data scientist, you will work with business stakeholders to understand their operation, use advanced machine learning algorithms. So advanced machine learning algorithm, you can assume that it can be a senior role as well, to build time series forecast model or other predictive model depending on business use cases, and be able to interpret model result in a business context and provide commercially actionable insight to support business decisions. So key responsibility, leading data analytics. So you'll be having having a senior role, okay, and modeling project. So data and feature engineering to ensure data sets are model ready, build and maintain improved model performance and forecasting accuracy, carry out research on machine learning or deep learning algorithm. So just with this thing, this is an advanced requirement. So this is like data scientists, they are requiring a senior data scientist. So like the flexibility the term data scientist gives you is like, it doesn't gives you the exact information. Like, so what I mean by that is that when they use data scientist, they can mean that they need a machine learning engineer, or they can mean that they need a senior data scientist, or they can mean that they need a business analytics, or they can mean a business intelligence. So they can use this word interchangeably for multiple roles. So this is a senior role, and we'll have to skip this role. And as I said, that big data comes into the later part of your career, and machine learning comes into your later part of your career. So this skills data visualization as like, if you know as a data scientist, data visualization is really handy, because you have to present your information that you have explored to many stakeholders, and if you have this skill, that gives you an edge with other data scientists. That's another one. 89,000. So it's somewhat, say, like beginner to intermediate data scientist role. Um, so a little bit background about IBM Research Australia, and we'll just jump on the skills that person will need. A demonstrated experience developing statistical and machine learning models, which we did as you need to create a GitHub profile for that. So if you'll have a look into this one, so GitHub and statistics required, machine learning model. So machine learning model, it comes into the later part of but you can show some if you can work with any small project or have a little bit experience with machine learning, you can definitely post it on GitHub and show them this experience working with big data sets, especially in secure environment, which means big data. So as soon as big data comes, you can assume that it's an intermediate role or advanced role. Life cycle of machine learning project development and management, domain knowledge in either healthcare or life sciences, financial industry or government. So because in IBM deals with multiple job profile at the same time, it's a hub, it's a very big company. So they may have different opportunities in all the fields. So it's kind of generic requirement from them. So they are hiring multiple candidates for a data scientist. All right. So experience. So 2 years, at least 2 years of experience after a doctorate degree in computer science. So they need someone from the PhD background. Okay, so which means that they need extensive report writing. They will have to, because it's a research as well. So they need a person who has experience with report writing and can write research paper if they find out any outcomes with the health and science. Experience in software development within teams, within Python and other comparable scientific and statistical programming environment. So experience. So they haven't used anything to specify how much experience that they need. Like they just maybe if they just need if someone is really familiar with that. So if someone is doing is PhD, so they may have a good knowledge with Python and other statistical environment, in compared to a professional worker, but there still will be, I will still say that it's a beginner to intermediate requirement for programming. And some experience with deep learning. uh, okay, so it's just some experience machine learning algorithm, yeah, so journal, conference, and publication in the field. So it's just they need someone to do some heavy lifting with their research work and can organize their research or in relation to finances, healthcare, and they can publish the research work for the company. So generic, I will suggest this requirement as one of the key requirement that I've seen in a pattern. So if you'll explore some um, data, and you'll see that you, as a data scientist, this is the main thing that you need um, to get a data scientist role. You need to have a very good, like a good documented GitHub profile. I'm not good at GitHub, so I will have to work on that. Report writing, I've done report writing in my master's, so I'm like, say, beginner level of report writing. Statistics, I'm currently going through statistics model and trying to understand all the statistics, variables and population sampling, sampling data and all the things. Machine learning, I will I will jump machine learning on my later part of my data scientist skills, because I want to make sure that I'm good in statistics and I'm good in visualization, and then I'll see what I have to learn next. So how I have to, whether I have to do machine learning or big data or after that. So I haven't planned yet, but so this is the first part that I wanted to share with you.